What's up, and welcome to, I guess this is technically the final regular season episode of SPL Recap. Um, Next week will technically still be regular season, but the regular season will be over. Um, so we're sticking with that label. Today we have, I guess, the new regulars. I don't know. Um, we got Senor Ham, best captain in all of SPL, on the phone. We've got Colin, late surge manager, and then a front running candidate for manager of the season, and Eric.
Hello.
But let's go ahead. Let's hop straight into results. So we had a pretty crazy week 7 slate of games. As you can see by our spreadsheet. I don't know how many of these were like definitive, like upsets per se. I think a lot of them were close games that we just, Colin and I especially, got all wrong, and Eric got all right. But the first game of the week was a definitive upset. Except I'm realizing we did not run that as the first game of the week, because we changed the schedule.
No, we did not.
No. So the first game of the week was actually a banger. We had Adam versus Jacob in a battle for that second place spot in the Spellcasters, where Come On Mr. Monty ended up edging it out in, I believe, game 3. Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very close series. As someone who has, I believe, beaten both of those teams, Eric, were you surprised at all to see Jacob get the win?
I was not surprised. I know I've had very good games with both of the teams, and I was honestly quite happy to see that Jaco won.
Yeah, which is fair, and you were one of only 2 people to predict that right. So, put your money where your mouth was a little bit. I'm struggling to remember too much of the series. I believe we had Jacob on the phone in the car.
Yes, we did.
This is true.
Some definite blinker noises during the series, which is always fun.
I know Jaco was threatened with speaking about Manchester again. He didn't take too kindly to that one.
Yeah. But this game had absolutely huge implications on the standings of the Spellcasters, especially pending future results. But Adam and the Flying Dutchman are in very serious danger of not making the playoffs. Colin, how shocked would it be to see your Wario team not even in the postseason and relegated?
Well, if you scroll your screen a little more to the right, you'll show that they're pretty much. It would be shocking to see them not in, but it would require Dave to beat Eric and also to make up 16 goals in goal differential. So mathematically, they're not in, but we will see Wario in at least the play-in game.
Yeah, and what I'm talking about is the playoffs, because if he rolls into the 4th seed, into the play-in games, then that is so far from a guarantee.
That is a tough spot to be in.
Yeah. But you are very correct that he will be making the play-ins. We'll get to predictions later, but the Daisy team beating the Goose Crusade by 16. I guess it doesn't have to be 16 if Adam loses, but either way.
No, it needs to make up 16 goals between the 2 games.
Yeah.
I would also clarify it's Peach.
Yeah, true. Which actually somehow, some way is better. Proven by this weekend, but we'll get into that later on. But this game had absolutely massive implications on the standings for the Spellcasters and for the postseason, because if I was a play-in team from the MFMK and I drew Wario after landing in the 3rd seed, I would be pissed. Which
Yeah.
that
Although Yoshi is, I guess, that'd be a tough spot to be in with Waluigi locked into probably a play-in game.
yeah, freaking Waluigi somehow, some way, with a -4 goal difference. His team sucks. Like I don't. It doesn't make any sense. But he just wins. He just wins in the spellcasters. But yeah, that was that. Series after that, probably. Would you all say upset of the week?
The boys.
Maybe one of the upsets of the season. Colin, walk me through your thoughts on the series.
I wish we could have found this form a little bit earlier. Maybe it's on me. I tried out a new roster alignment this week, and it worked out well. Maybe I should have gone there earlier, because I think we're kind of holding on by the thread. We're probably not going to be able to make the play-in game, but taking down the number 2 seed currently in the Mushroom Kingdom is, the boys played with heart, and you love to see it. They fought hard, and they got a good win.
Yeah, and for adding intrigue into already the craziest conference that you could ever possibly imagine, this absolutely has blown the top on the MFMK. These standings are absurd. The fact that we're going into week 8 and every single team does have a stronger chance than there's a much higher chance that you make it than David does.
Well, if you go into the math a little bit, it's really not.
It's not great.
I need to make up 13 goals on you.
That's your situation?
That's my situation.
Okay. I'll trust that you've
Not
done
great.
the math on that. And we'll talk about it more later. But turns out that banning wastelands against the mighty Luigi is effective. Hamilton, you know what's coming.
I do not know if Reed has seen this. At some point, I will talk to him, whether that's before or after Friday. Who knows? But I think that he might make changes. He might not make changes. Who's his next game against?
Me.
Big game.
Yeah, huge game.
I'm gonna say that if Reed doesn't submit a roster this week, it's because Austin deleted it. No, I have no insight into that kid's mind this week. I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fair. And probably would be unfair for me to get more insight. But huge result for Colin. Like he said, a little bit too little, too late. Maybe could have asked for something more.
Those damn double birdos.
Freaking Eric was the only one who picked this correctly. And he even get it absolutely correctly because Colin somehow got it done in 2.
Yeah, no one thought that would happen.
But yeah, no, unreal. One of the upsets of the season. Next game we ran was the father-son matchup. Always exciting. For a long time in this series, it looked like Bowser Jr. was going to run away with it, which pretty much no one was rooting for. Sorry, Grant. I know you're out there listening to this with bated breath. But no one wants you to win. It also too, just because that pretty much doomed the rest of us. But once again, another result, just like Colin's, that somehow brought us to this situation where 5 teams are separated by 1 game.
I have a question for the group. Is it maybe they were overrated, or is it manager error that Wario and Bowser Jr. are combined 7-7?
I will say that the two managers that have them on their teams this season are probably not getting the most out of them. I don't know if anyone wants to disagree with that.
They do have one combined roster move.
I would also say that last year they both managers got to the meta of last season very early, and that did help them. Like I think Colin got there, and I think Grant stumbled into it with Bowser Jr. The meta, like in week 2. So I don't know how much of that is just other teams not knowing the meta last season and therefore taking losses, and how much of it is poor team management this season.
I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a good question. Colin, where do you stand?
I don't know. I think obviously they have talent and they've scored some goals, but I'm looking at Wario right now and he has the third least or fourth least goals out of captains. Like that was a potential first overall pick. He didn't go there, and he might not be surrounded with the right talent. But I'm looking at that. I'm not going to be taking him as my first pick next season if I had it.
Yeah, no, I think that's valid, and they probably honestly shouldn't have gone too much higher than they did in the draft. How do you think those two stack up with DK? Because that's someone who has had a renaissance of a second season.
DK is hard carrying his team, at least on the goal front. So he's certainly outperforming the captains. I mean, DK's got 11 more goals than Wario.
But then, how much of that, not to toot my own horn, but like by comparison, it's not hard. How much is the fair fact that I have a team that is entirely built around feeding DK?
That is true, and it definitely plays a factor.
And Grant has double Birdos and a Shy Guy.
The double Birdos are lethal.
I still think if Hamilton had drafted Bowser Jr., and nothing wouldn't have changed anything, he still would be in the Spellcasters. I think Hamilton with Bowser Jr. would probably be in second place.
I stand by my decision. It was a great one. It was a terrible decision, and if you were actually Bowser Jr., I would.
I'm not sure about the word great.
Someone needed to take the gamble and see if 2 dry bones would actually pay dividends in this league.
You didn't get 2 dry bones.
I don't think we did 2.
No, but you can't get 2 dry bones if you don't get 1.
That's a great point. I'm so mad that Freddie freaking won this week. Is that our next series? This sucks.
Don't even.
This
don't
sucks.
even.
Eric, did you watch the series?
Yes, I watched the VOD when I got back to my hotel room that night. I was sad.
I'm mostly just sad because it makes Dave's chances truly impossible.
Yeah.
I was sad for 2 reasons. 3 reasons actually. The first reason was absolutely had a grand showing the first game, and then all luck was against me afterward. Freddie decides to get 3 out of 4 on a Mega Strike for some reason. And then, I don't know if it was the second or the third game, but my team pelted his career with 5 full power shots and none of them went in.
Yeah. Which, the thing is those games are going to happen in a season. I don't think it's ever going to be possible for a team to go undefeated. Those games are going to happen. Just why did it have to be against Freddie's team? Why? Dave deserved better.
Eric, what's your Shy Guy?
I was talking to Colin earlier. What do you mean?
I mean, that your Shy Guys had a really good first game, and then I don't think they contributed after that. And I'm curious to know if you
They
are.
always contribute. You shut your mouth.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
I was telling Colin earlier, I think what I was really sad about was to look at the stat sheet for the second game that I lost. The first one I lost, and I think it was 3-4 with me having 26 shots on goal and Freddie having 12.
That happens in strikers. I swear half the time when you look at the stat sheet after the game, the team that had less shots wins. It makes no sense. But
It's all about quality shots.
Also, shouts out to any audio listener that is braving through this experience.
Ham's got some weird UFO noises in the background.
And Eric's gone back kind of quiet again. So if you are listening right now, thank you and probably stop. But yeah, if Freddie had lost this, man, the Spellcasters would actually be interesting for the first time the entire season. Because David got his second win, and Freddie would be 3-4 with a negative goal difference, and it would actually be possible. But now the Spellcasters still just suck.
And it's my fault. It's my fault. I told Colin. I watched Little Shop of Horrors Saturday night. He said I cheated on him with another plant, and he did have a spirit.
He knew what you did. You can't hide it. But yeah, that was the only thing interesting that could have happened in the Spellcasters the entire season, and it was ruined. Next series. Oh boy. Next series.
I would say this is something interesting that happened in the Spellcasters.
This was history. Which I guess in a way you said someone had to make double dry bones happen. You did. How did that feel, Hamilton?
Bittersweet. Glad to see Dave get his win. Glad to see double dry bones get a win. Unfortunate that it still doesn't matter. Even more unfortunate that it wasn't on my team. But at the end of the day, you just gotta tip your hat to the opponent and move on. Look forward to drafting a power captain next season.
I mean, shout out to Pete's first ever
The words
win.
of a broken man.
Yeah, no, big shout out to Peach. Which I was gonna say, Hamilton. I guess you technically won't be the first person to ever go winless, in a season, because Danny did that last year, and did Shell also do that?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shell also only tied last season, but obviously it was different. You could tie and not lose.
Yeah.
So
First person to finish on 0 points.
But if we were doing, how many of your games have gone to 3?
Maybe 2.
Let's see. Ham has picked up 1. He took 1 against Eric. And that's it.
You've won 1 game the entire season?
Yeah. That's sadly not.
I'd like to point out week 5, Ham's game was the only game that didn't go to 3.
Oh my god.
I'd also like to point out that the one game that did go to 3 was against the number 1 team in the Spellcast.
Then you got shut out in the 2 games you lost.
Yeah, but I won one.
Snuck out the 2-0 victory against Eric.
I love this league because Grant literally submitted a form for the draft of 8 captains. He did not. The only thing he did the entire season was get Bowser Jr., which probably just would have happened by random auto draft, based off stats. Like Grant literally has not done a single thing this entire season. And yet he stands a strong chance of going to the playoffs, and Hamilton has 1 point.
I mean, that's a generous point, but yeah.
It is way too late to think about this, but what if the point structure, we could have actually had points mean something where if you got 1 point, if you got to 3.
Like hockey style.
Yeah. That kind of would have been cool, honestly.
Next season, maybe.
Yeah. I don't really know how I feel about it, but this is the this is the perfect time to be talking about it.
Yes.
But yeah, no, history was made. And then we finished out with one of the all-time series in SPL. I'm gonna run the ending of games 1 and 2.
Again, shout out to the audio listeners.
Shout out to the audio listeners. Hey, if you're listening on Spotify, you can literally just pull your phone out and the video will play.
True.
It's there.
And you better be watching because these finishes were electric.
Yeah. Let's now becoming a podcast tradition. Let's put it in slow-mo. Let's watch this. Let's watch this Toad.
The level of deprecation that Austin reached in this game.
Yeah. We're gonna put in 0.25. Picks up the ball, own half of the field, runs forward. Koopa takes a look at the ball. Monty puts his body on the line. Eats the tackle. Toad flips over it. Monty, is that his shell? Monty actually, while getting hit, nearly kills Toad. He throws a shell at Toad. Toad flips over it. With 1.5 seconds, charges up a skill shot. I swear he has not even taken a skill shot this entire season. And scores his first goal of the year.
First goal of the
Look
season.
at that face. Look at that face. 1 step, 2 step. He jumps. He spins on his head. Look at Monty in the background celebrating. And then immediately into overtime. I can't even fast forward slow enough. Immediately into overtime, Toad dishes it to DK. He slaps it in. We go into game 2.
Yep.
It's 5-4. Garrett is incredulous. He is begging the gods. I'm not even gonna bother. I was gonna try and run the audio. He's begging the gods. He's literally asking if he can have a 0-second goal. He shoots. We got to go into slow motion. This is all playing out too fast. We're back into 0.25. Mario stomping around, hops onto DK's head, hits it into his hand, which just charges the ball for him further. Hits it into Critter. Time is running down. This entire time, Garrett is asking God for a goal. He is literally asking if he can have one. Mario is still rolling. Might not even get a shot off in time. Curls it around Toad into the top corner. 5-5. Absolutely insane. Look at how happy he is. I don't know if you can say that this is the best series of SPL of all time just because Game 3 was a bit of a snooze fest. And I feel like
I don't even know if it's the best series between you and Garrett of all time.
that's true. The own goal to ice a season will will live in infamy. Also love the fact that our captain matchup last season was PD versus Bowser with a meta team. And this season we got freaking Mario and DK just scrapping at each other. What a time to be alive.
That was a massive game. Luther that was gonna be sitting in 5th in the conference.
Yeah. And especially for me too, because I only had one conference win. So
yeah. Well, that's where Garrett's at right now.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that would not have really changed tiebreakers virtually at all.
Yeah, you guys would be pretty much flip-flopped.
I was gonna say if conference wins would help you all, but the fact that that was your first conference win is pretty much what's screwing you over.
Yeah.
Damn. But yeah, that was it. Absolutely horrendous week of predictions. For everyone not named Eric. So I'll go ahead and set the table. This is the current competition for the golden picker. I'm gonna go ahead and rule shell out Garrett. Also, not a great season of picks, but will not be eligible. We said that you had to reach 50%. So Eric will be eligible. Just like playoff scenarios, Hamilton has been running the math for whether or not whether or not it's possible for him to catch him. It is possible, but Eric's going to have a week 7 worthy throw for picks. Anyone have any shouts for overperformer of the week?
My team.
True.
Maybe I think my dry bones. We could probably, if we wanted to single him out. I know it's a dry bones, but I think he. Let's see how many goals did we get out of him? Because Diddy Kong did not score a goal
each.
True.
So I was gonna go. Dry bones dropped 4 of my 7 goals this week.
The Mr. Monty.
The Mr. Monty just does it week in, week out. Is he even overperforming?
Terry.
Yes.
Terry's
got to be in there. First goal of the
season. If we're including Terry, we have to include Montgomery Mole, as they both picked up their first goals of the season.
Yeah. Who does Montgomery Mole play for?
He's on Dave's team now.
Oh, okay. I guess
it was my mole.
Sure. I think that's good. Underperformer of the week.
Luigi.
Ham's draft.
Rude.
Shy Guys.
Whoever's critter played Freddy.
Eric's critter.
I would put Luigi. He only got 1 goal.
I don't think a single Shy Guy won this week. Loss. Shy Guys went 0 for 5.
Damn,
it was a rough week for the Shy Guys.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on balanced characters? I think my take is that balanced characters serve a much stronger purpose this season than last, but I feel like they are overvalued right now.
They may be overvalued. They are 3 and 4 in impact sidekick. Are they 3 and 4? It might be 1 and 2.
I think it's more that their value has just increased. I would put them above the speed sidekicks. For the most part, certain captains I would disagree with that on. But I just feel like last season it was guaranteed that they would be free, and them not being free just makes them feel overvalued.
I think that a lot of it is due to the scarcity of sidekicks, where you can't go out and get whatever sidekick you want. Like right now, there is plenty of passers and speed sidekicks out there. That doesn't fit with everyone's team. You can put a balanced character on any team, and they're gonna do what they always do, right? It's never bad. It might be a downgrade, but it's never bad to have them on your team, which I think is where their value comes from.
I feel like there are several teams that would be made better by swapping their balanced character for a speed sidekick. And I don't even think that it's necessarily a diss against balanced characters. Like I said, I just think that it's kind of been like overplayed a little bit. Like I said, that's my take. But Next up, we got something super, super exciting. It actually has been live on our website. Look at this website here. Shouts out to Shell laying the groundwork years ago. And Colin finalizing that groundwork. But up at the top here, if you're a video watcher, there's a little banner running to vote for All Stars. So that's great. I figured that we could honestly
Send Austin an email.
Yeah, send me an email. Email me who you think should be who should be an all-star. Don't fill out this form. Just email me. I already went through this form myself, which I thought was very fun. So obviously everyone in the league should do it, but I thought we could also go through it as a podcast. So I'm trying to think of a democratic way to do this, because unfortunately we have 4 people, so we can't just vote and then outrule.
My vote carries 2 since none of my characters are here.
No, that's not true. I think I tried to make sure everyone had at least one. I made the nominees, and I tried to make sure every team had at least one nominee.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna vote for my character, so then therefore, no, I don't have any characters.
Okay, well, why don't we just open it up to the table for these, and then we'll see how it goes. First one is for striker / captain in the spellcasters. We have Petey, Yoshi, and Wario. I personally feel like this was one of the
should have
most.
put Waluigi on there.
Nah,
but whatever.
I don't know his stats, but he doesn't belong. I mean, he's not winning.
I think he outscores Wario. No, I think Petey's the clear one and Yoshi's the clear 2 in this conference.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think this was the simplest one out of anything that I had to do the entire time, and all the other captains in this conference suck.
Yeah.
So, Eric, you agree with this?
Fair.
I'm pissed that Peach isn't up there.
Agree with this.
The fact
not even
that
your captain.
The impact scores are just like multiplicities, like crazy. Just how good PD has been this season, and Yoshi too.
I'm sorry, the formatting on this is bad. Google Forms is not great.
That's I had
you guys all thought I butchered Petey.
I mean, he could be better.
You did just lose to Fred.
Nonsense.
You've also gone to 3 games with Peach.
is hold on. Is Eric's weakness the speed character?
How is his? He has not played David yet.
He hasn't played David. He didn't play me. So his experience with speed characters is losing to Fred and going to 3 and being the only one to go to 3 versus Ham.
What a fair shout, honestly.
Who did you lose to in the MFMK?
Garrett.
Garrett.
Okay.
I lost to Garrett because his hammer decided to show out and get like 8 goals.
Okay. Next up, we got top midfield in the spellcasters. I also feel like this is the most obvious first choice of all time.
Mr. Monty all day.
Come on, Mr. Monty.
How is he so much better than every sidekick?
I don't know.
I was looking at like later on we'll talk about dry bones, and I was like, oh my god, it's crazy. Like all these dry bones have like over 0.8 goals per game. 1.17 from a sidekick from a Monty. But to me that's pretty obvious. The next one I want to pay a little bit of credence to is this Boo 0.4 goals per game. That is insane. What is Boo's average goals per game? It's like
0.19.
Yeah, he is scoring
Boo as a
double.
whole has 13 goals, and this Boo has 6 of them. So almost half the Boo's total goals is from that one Boo.
So I would cede him not being number 2, but I do think he should be on the board.
I'm fine with him at 2.
I would prefer him at 2.
Okay.
And I think we got to put some respect on Saquondo's name and put him in 3. The leader of the guys.
Appreciate.
Yeah.
And no one knows anything about this hammer, bro. I don't have a single memorable moment.
I needed someone from Fred's team, so I put the hammer, bro.
Bottom midfield. I'm surprised that we have 2 toads in here.
There were a lot of toads playing. I did base it on what position they played. So if you didn't play at least half your games as of week 6 in that position, then I didn't put you there. So the spellcasters have a lot of toads playing bottom midfield.
I'm going to give a shout out to Hamilton's Dry Bones because I feel like... No, wait.
That's Ham/Dave's Dry Bones. It got traded. That's the traded Dry Bones.
Yes,
The Dry Bones did pop off. He absolutely ate on my team.
Yeah, he's got 0.88 goals per game. His impact is more just the fact that he's been on losing teams.
Yeah.
But
Number 2 here. This is the David's toad.
Yes, that is Dave's toad, who I think had 5 goals. 2 didn't score again. That toad is currently a free agent, so they did just drop that toad.
I'm gonna struggle
That
to
toad has
not
been
justify
abandoned.
giving this to Berto first.
What has this Birdo done?
Ruined Colin's day, I'm pretty sure.
No, different Birdo.
Different Birdo.
Okay.
I feel like the conversation is between David's toad and Adam's Birdo. Although,
I feel like I can't vote for Dave's toad as he's currently a free.
do we want to do the Birdo second and then Jacob's toad third, just for being a solid role player?
I mean,
That's
I feel
fine.
like the difference between Dave's toad and Jacob's toad is just the fact that Dave's toad's once again on a bad team.
Yeah, I'm fine with Dave's toad at 3.
It really doesn't matter. They are not winning.
No, they're not.
Okay, defender in the spellcasters. This is no. We do a lot of content that is peak for audio listeners. This might be the best one.
We got. We can read them out at least.
Yeah.
We got Eric Shy Guy. We've got Ham's Birdo. We've got Jacob's Koopa, and we've got Adam Shy Guy.
Is there none?
I think that it has. The stupid thing about Eric's Shy Guys is that they all have the same goals per game.
Yeah.
So this Shy Guy has not scored 0.42 goals per game. It has not. I guarantee it. It just hasn't.
And its impact rating is so high because it scored 0.42 goals per game.
It's so stupid. And just because it gets carried by PD, this is
You hush your mouth.
like the stats are incredible, but do we just ignore it?
Yes.
I'm fine with ignoring it.
Foul.
Then I guess you got to look at probably Koopa next, right?
How dare you slander my Berto?
Well, this stat line blows.
Absolutely, I'm not being serious.
I hate the
I think that was
spellcasters, man.
I think that was me giving Ham his own character and not just the one that Dave has now.
Anyone have any other thoughts other than Jacob's
No,
Koopa first?
This is fine. This poll is terrible.
Spellcasters just suck. I don't know, man.
Spellcasters think you suck, Austin.
It's a great point.
I'm as a spellcaster, I really want. And this is gonna sound a little bad. I really just want the MFMK to come and rinse the entire spellcasters conference and just be like, "Yeah, we were better than you all season."
We already did that.
Yeah, I know. But like doing it in playoffs is a little different, just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Playoffs is different.
It's gonna suck when Freddie somehow wins the championship again.
How are you gonna feel
Well,
if Triple Shy Guy wins the championship?
Freddie is a second half manager. We learned that last season. You know he's coming. That's all I can say.
I put the managers on here just in case if we do an actual game. I figured the winner of the managers could pick the maps.
Yes.
And I thought it would be fun. Look at that 1-14 record.
Who snipes though with like 3 roster submissions?
I think notable managers here. I think Jacob deserves a little bit of love.
I think he's done well to adapt to. I mean, we did all tell him to do it, but he did adapt his map selections to block a weakness.
I'm gonna throw out there. I don't know how you don't give it to Dave as the first choice. Man secured a dry bones for essentially the same captain, and got Peach her first win.
I'll give Dave a third place vote.
Yeah, you can get.
However, Dave made the same mistake you did and drafted a Dry Bones first round.
Except Dave did it like 5 picks later.
Did he pick before you?
No,
Oh
I was picked like 5, and I want to say Dave was picked like 10.
no, he was not.
Dave would have been picked 9, I think, or maybe 8.
He was not. He still had DK and Luigi on the board at least.
Yeah.
And Waluigi.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, I think third is fair. I'm looking at Fred, Jacob, and Eric.
I agree.
Looking at me.
My issue with Dave right now, look, obviously there's plenty of issues, but the 0.64 first choice win percentage over expected means he does worse when he gets his first choice map.
So what does that mean?
So if you have it's first choice win percentage over expected. So it's your win percentage on the map that you chose versus your win percentage as a whole. So if you have a below 1, that means you're more likely to win on the map that you didn't pick than the map that you did pick. A higher number means like the map that you chose. So like Reed has a very high number because he chose Wastelands a lot and won a lot on Wastelands, but didn't really win that much outside of Wastelands.
I see.
So it's basically trying to rate how well you did at picking your first map.
Are we giving Eric credit?
We could give him some.
No.
I think we should. I think we should give me some credit.
Jacob 1, Eric 2.
What if we get David out of here?
Get Dave out of here.
And then we can put Eric 3.
Eric 3.
It doesn't make sense.
Are we giving Fred 2?
What'd you say?
Are we giving Fred 2? Jacob 1?
But in terms of management, who do you think has done a better job, Jacob or Fred?
I guess Jacob hasn't made a single roster move.
Freddie did.
Fred has made roster moves and has improved.
He has steadily improved. He has gone from like week 1 looking like a complete garbage can to being a solid team. I think you could make an argument for either one, but I think from a management perspective, Freddie has done a better job.
I'm fine with that.
I will agree to that.
Okay. We go on to the
I'm gonna
MFMK
laugh.
next. Striker/captain. And my
Donkey
God,
Kong's just putting in goals.
the conference is stacked. I mean, I'm going to say, like, in terms of expectations for the season versus results, Donkey Kong has to have put down the most.
I think it's Donkey Kong. He's second in the Golden Boot right now, after not even really being in the running for it last season.
Yeah, he is carrying the ZDs. Crazy that 2 of the 3 are spellcasters, but these guys are also
Yoshi
both.
has a ridiculous amount of Mega Strike goals.
Yeah. Number 2. I feel like we're looking at Luigi or Bowser here.
I would say Bowser second, Luigi third.
I wouldn't be
Is
mad
it
at
based
that.
on expectations or performance?
I mean, it's everything, but Donkey Kong, like, I'm saying, like, no matter how you cut it, Donkey Kong season's been unreal.
Who do you think deserves to represent the conference in an All-Star game?
Well, then probably Bowser.
All right, on an individual level, not on a team level.
Yeah, still Bowser, because I think Danny's team sucks. If you put Danny's team out there with any other sidekicks, like, it's freaking Hammer Bro, Birdo, and Koopa. Like,
Nah, it's Donkey Kong. We're going Donkey Kong.
But Bowser has showed out and single-handedly won games. But as I say that out loud, Luigi has also absolutely single-handedly won series.
Yes, he has.
I think they're neck and neck.
I think we go Bowser 2, Luigi 3. I think that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, you got to give Bowser some respect for being 6-1.
Yeah, and Luigi's got a dry bones on there. He's got some help, and he hasn't really done that much outside of Wastelands.
Yeah. Okay. We move on to the top midfielder. We've got the Big Nosh. Crazy how, like,
Big Nosh.
all these players have positive impact versus in the spellcasters, like, every time half the sidekicks had negative impact. We got Garrett's Hammer Bro. We got Alberto on Grant's team. And then we have Danny's Hammer Bro. Now, when I looked at this, I was shocked that Danny's Hammer Bro is putting up numbers like this. I had no idea that Danny had a Hammer Bro drop in 0.72 goals per game, because everyone always talks about Garrett's Hammer Bro, but from, like, every single stat imaginable, Danny's has a higher output. So I think in terms of what you actually have to vote, like, Danny's probably has to go above Garrett's.
I think that's fair, especially since, like, you could just say, like, oh, it's just because Danny's team scoring more goals, but that's not true. Garrett's outscoring Danny by 5 goals, and so his, proportionally, Danny's Hammer Bro's putting in work.
So then I think the question becomes, is it between Danny's Hammer Bro and the Big Nosh?
The Big Nosh.
Which, I am partial to this, so I'll leave it to the floor.
Big Nosh is currently number 2 in sidekick impact.
I don't know how you don't give it to the Big Nosh.
Let's go. It's almost like I have a 2-man team.
It's wild how we have 2 Monties that are incredible, and then 3 Monties who haven't done anything. But there's still a big gap as well between even Mr. Monty and the Big Nosh. It is a drop off.
Yeah, well, the Big Nosh was also playing defense for half the season.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
So, so then are we going just the Hammer Bros to finish it out?
I think
Yeah,
Hammer to finish it out.
I would say put Garrett's at 2.
I would disagree with that based on the whole premise of the rest of the debate we had.
Why did you just listen to me talk for like a minute straight and not say anything? Other than your series
Why?
against him, why, Garrett? I mean, Eric.
I didn't. Well, now that you asked that question, I will take back what I said.
Well, now I want you to do something, Eric.
I don't have an answer for you, quite frankly.
It's just the series that Hammer Bro had against you.
I feel like he's had other good games. But my brain's not working right now.
That is totally fair. We will move on to bottom midfielder. This one is brutal. We have Colin's Koopa, Reed's Dry Bones, and Garrett's Dry Bones. We're kind of in the exact same position as there's 2 Dry Bones being presented to us. One with definitively better stats than the other. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in Garrett's Dry Bones in third. Does anyone have any issues with that?
No.
Does it do better than the Koopa? Is my
I disagree, because the fact that a Koopa has 0.86 goals per game needs to be recognized.
I will concede that argument. It needed to be asked.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. No, that's a fair point. But
I think
I very much think that I am more impressed by a Koopa scoring 0.86 goals per game with a slightly lower impact than a Dry Bone. Like, every Dry Bones in the history of SPL has scored roughly 0.7 goals per game.
Okay, but we're not
Koopa's not
talking
highest
about
rated
expectations.
Okay.
Yeah, well, then we just have a team of Dry Bones.
If there were 8 LeBrons in the league, would your starting 8 not be 5 LeBrons and 3 more LeBrons?
I think you could throw Steph Curry in there.
But even from a statistical standpoint, this Koopa is argued to having, like, even just Colin's Koopa's
More
gone
goals per
crazy.
game.
Absolutely. I'm not trying to discredit Colin's Koopa.
I mean, I will happily yield that. I would probably, if you ask me who I would pick, I'd probably easily pick either of these Dry Bones over the Koopa. Which I guess makes this entire conversation stupid.
Koopa.
But it already was.
Ash also wants the Koopa.
Does anyone have any thoughts about who should take the number 1 spot here?
The number 1 has to be the Dry Bones. I'm sorry to Colin's Koopa, but the number 1 has to be the Dry Bones.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with splitting the Dry Bones.
Yeah, that's good. Eric, any thoughts?
I mean, I would have preferred Koopa, because I kind of agree with your statement of the fact that Koopa has done this well. Should be recognized.
What about a joint first?
And if you disagree with our takes, go to the website now and fill out your ballot.
Look at this banner.
It's on about half the pages on that website. I got lazy. I didn't think anyone was going to the podcast page, so I didn't add it.
We are also 54 minutes in, and we have not gotten to Preds yet.
Lot to do.
Lots of business to take care of. MFMK Defender. I really could care less about this.
Look at those goals.
Sure.
Then it's got to go to the Berto 5. And
But once again, it's just because there's two damn Birdos on his team. One that's playing midfield and probably scoring.
2 Birdos.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that clarification. Give it to Koopa.
Anyone have any issues with this?
That's
No.
fine.
Okay. I hate the freaking duplicate stats because the defenders just look insane. MFMK manager. This one's actually super interesting.
I'm gonna give a shout to Garrett with the 12th pick. He's done decently.
That is fair. I was gonna give a shout to Colin for doing this well with a speed captain in the MFMK, the only speed captain. To not be winless is very impressive.
We're almost 500.
Whoa. Don't disrespect Dave.
In
What?
he's saying the only speed captain to be the only speed captain in the Mushroom Kingdom and still not be winless. I believe
I missed the clarification of in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah,
My bad.
That was the point. Is that he's in the hard conference and hasn't been fully eliminated, which is really impressive.
Okay.
Giving it to Reed feels wrong.
Absolutely. That's
So
Austin, you've done well.
I'd say top two. I'm fine to narrowing it down between Garrett and Colin. And I would like to ask you guys one question. Which of these two managers do you think works harder?
I plead the fifth.
Let's say that I'm pretty sure David is an avid listener of the podcast. I don't know about
Colin.
Garrett.
What was that, Eric?
Colin.
I like Colin. I think Colin has maximized the amount that you could ever get from the did without getting double dry bones. Would Colin's team have been better if he went double dry bones with Peach or Daisy? Probably. But
Picked Mario.
I might disagree with that.
how much better do you think the did is?
I'm just looking at the fact that he's not eliminated, and Peach with 2 dry bones is eliminated.
But Peach with 2 dry bones played like 2 weeks.
I got 1 win, which was against Daisy.
I do not think that the did is much better than Peach. But it's a conversation for another time. All right, and then are we going Garrett at number 2?
I'm fine with Garrett at 2.
Um,
I'll throw an Austin shout for 3.
He's getting the most out of his DK. That's for sure.
He's up. He's feeding the calm.
yeah, and I feel like Danny's had a solid season.
Danny hasn't made a single roster move.
Yeah, and he's just been Bowser carried. But you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess.
Danny got the number 2 pick.
Yep. But if that was fun for you to listen to, then it would probably be fun for you to fill out a form too. So go do it. This form is sick. And we got all stars this season. I think are we gonna do an exhibition game? Did we decide or no?
We haven't.
I think we decided no.
We decided no. Yeah, this will just be for legacy. There's no real reason to run a sim except to be very funny. Who knows?
Maybe if the teams come out really, really wonky, we'll play a game.
Yeah. Okay.
We just know that the spellcasters' picks are gonna mop the floor.
All right, let's get into Preds. Which I also wanted to do real quick, Colin, playoff scenarios. Let me see.
Will you right click? Will you
I can
right click
rip
that
through 'em.
column BA and hide it?
I got you. Hold on. Uh,
All right. I got it up on the screen. But I know we say it a lot, but thank you, Colin.
Yeah.
It's kind of been the motto of season 2 is thank you, Colin.
I just moved and I don't have that many friends, and I got a lot of time on my hands.
Maybe we'll refer to this like as we go with our Preds. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Rather than just
That's
reading.
fine. I have it up on the other screen, so I can call them out before. I'll just go through when we get to each game. I'll go through what each player needs to do and what their scenarios are.
Okay. Well, we're not going to switch scenes. We're just going to stick with this. Dave
Yeah, I'll
versus
just leave
Eric.
it up on mine.
If David still stood a chance, then I would pick him. But fuck it. Dave in 2.
I'm sorry.
With a plus. Oh shit. With a plus 10 goal difference.
That's not enough, I'm pretty sure.
What is this?
Adam would have to
I think
lose by
we
6.
should make Eric pick before we reveal what Ham's pick is.
That's cool with me. What are you taking in this one?
Oh, me. I'm gonna go Eric, and I'm gonna go in 2. Although,
Yeah.
wait, no, I'm gonna go in 3 because Eric's bad against speed captains. It's a fact now.
With a minus 10 goal difference.
May I ask why I'm going before Hamilton?
Because Hamilton has already made his pick. And so I want both of you to make your picks without the knowledge of who the other person has picked. So Ham's pick is in already. I just need to
me and 2.
Can we also make Eric pick first?
just in general.
Yeah. No bias from the others.
How many picks back is Austin?
The
2.
2 or 3.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible for me to catch Eric. I could catch Hamilton.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with Eric going first.
It is possible, Austin. If Eric goes 0 for and you go 6 for 6, you catch him. That's for sure.
Big reveal. Hamilton has got Eric in 2. But unsurprising. I want to see it. I want the narrative. I want the second Peach win ever to send into playoffs.
I don't.
Why do you care? Why do you hate David so much?
Oh, okay. So for this game, I didn't do the thing I said I was going to do. Eric has locked up top 2, clinches the number 1 seed with a win or a loss out of Jaco and Fred. Disclaimer on a lot of these, there's some goal differential things that can happen. I'm not going through all that, and I didn't do the math. So going through the basics. Dave is top 4 if he gets a win and gains 16 goal differential on Adam, who also loses.
It's possible.
Possible. Not likely, but possible. And then moving on to Grant versus Garrett. Grant will get he's playing Garrett, so he gets top 2 if he wins and Austin and Reed both lose, which isn't possible because they're playing each other. So he cannot get top 2. So he can get bottom 2 if he loses. That's it. Garrett is top 4 with a win, bottom 2 with a loss. This is a kind of a win and in situation. So winner gets top 4, losers out. Big game.
Eric?
Grant in 2.
You want Garrett to cry.
I do.
Oh my god, that is evil. Colin?
I'll go Garrett in 3.
I'm also going Garrett in 3.
And Ham, who have you gone for?
Honestly, I forget.
You've gone Garrett in 3.
Oh.
Eric denies the guarantee, just like I did. 0 guarantees so far. I would love for Grant to get relegated. Adam too. All right, Eric, who do you have in Jacob versus Ham?
Me,
Scenarios
Jago in
here.
3.
Shh, let Colin speak. My bad.
Oh, you're good.
I'm
You're
so
good.
sorry.
Jaco has locked up a top 4 spot. He will get top 2 with a win. He will get top 1 with a win and an Eric loss. Ham is locked into last place.
Let's go. We got a lot to play for.
Eric,
Jago in 3.
Yeah. That's right.
I'll go Jaco in 2.
Autofill it.
I'm looking at it on my screen.
God damn. Just like why make it stop? You said Jaco in 2?
Jaco in 2.
Hamilton.
Don't do something.
And Hamilton has picked Jaco in 2.
First guarantee of the week. All right, Colin, set the scene for this one.
Dan, I believe, has clinched number 1 in the conference. I need to win. I need to gain the 13 goal difference on who loses. And I need to catch the loser of Grant and Garrett in goal difference. None of those are likely to happen.
You got it, buddy.
It's good to know that some teams will have more on the line to play for, though, and they'll put in more effort.
Yeah. It'll be reflected on the
I
field.
told Dan to rest the starters.
Eric, who you taking?
Give me Colin in 2.
Oh boy.
Colin.
Give me the boys in 3. We're streaking. I just want, if I can pull out a 500 season, I'd be ecstatic. I don't care if I get eliminated at that point. To pull out 500 in this conference, unlikely, but
so you need me. You need me to lose, and then
I need you to get smoked, and I need to smoke Dan.
And you need
I need Garrett or Grant to smoke the other one.
Yeah, just huge blowouts all across the MFNK.
Well, you actually don't need Garrett to get smoked. If you win, then you don't need Garrett to get smoked.
If Garrett loses, I don't need him to get smoked. But I do need you to get smoked.
Yeah, you need me to get obliterated. That's your win, Colin.
Don't ban Wastelands. I really need a 9-2
Yeah.
again.
Nothing else really matters. Oh, that's bad.
Will he Garrett?
Jeez, there shouldn't be this much thought into this.
Captain Diff, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like a correct pick. And what has Ham gone with?
Eric has given him a lane for the golden picker. He has 2 different Preds.
Yeah.
Eric.
All right, Fred versus Adam. Fred can be eliminated if he loses and gives up 16 goal difference to Dave. He clinches top 4 if anything else besides that happens, or if Dave loses, and then he clinches top 2 with a win. And I wrote down many shenanigans to do, so he's probably just locked in top 4. And then Adam is top 4 with a win or a Dave loss.
Eric, who you taking?
Could theoretically get top
Give
2 with
me
goal difference.
Fred in 3.
Colin?
I'm going to go Adam in 3.
Ooh.
Wait, no.
I can't see what Austin's rating.
What is Freddie? Wait, Freddie can't get relegated?
No.
He would need to give up 16 goals, so that would get Fred eliminated.
There we go.
What you have written down would get Fred eliminated.
There we go.
Or no, that wouldn't get Fred eliminated. Actually,
No, yeah.
that would get
So
Fred can't
for
get
him to get
eliminated.
in, okay. So I need Fred to win with +7.
Yeah, you need Fred to win with +7. Fred cannot be eliminated.
It's not happening. I'm sorry, David. You're gonna win with a +10 and then still just have things outside your control.
And Ham has gone matching Eric with Fred in 3. Ham, thoughts? Justification?
I honestly was picking that one, and I was listening to you guys pick, and I was like, I think I took Adam in 3. I don't really know.
That right there could be the golden picker, because the fact that you guys are matched.
Yeah.
It's bad. All right, Colin, stakes for me and Reed.
Stakes for you and Reed. Let's see. Austin, you get top 2 with a win, assuming differential things stay the same. You get top 4 if I lose or don't catch you in goal differential.
Gotcha. And Reed, just the only thing he can change is if he wins.
Yeah.
Eric?
Yeah.
Give me Austin in 2.
Colin?
Austin just took Garrett to 3. It's a very similar team. I'm going Austin in 3. He's broken the curse.
This team has a boo. I think the only thing that could possibly save me is if I predict Reed in 3. That's what saved me last week. And what has Hamilton done?
Hamilton has
Austin
the 0
just-
number.
I'm pretty sure Austin just avoided a guarantee.
Thank God. So, okay, we have one more guarantee the entire season.
Can I request to change a pick?
What's
And
that?
this is a truly request to Eric. I want to change one that's matching to one that's not going to match.
Eric, do you permit it?
Sure, I guess.
Give me Adam.
What do you want to change
Adam.
him?
Fred is becoming Adam in 3.
Anything else?
That's it. No.
That's all I got.
Leave that alone, please.
He does not want to see Peach succeed.
I do. I just also. Well, then call it.
I'll have to. Last year we did the final picture we ran. I made like fake standings with what everyone predicted, mainly just to highlight how stupid Freddie's picks were. Which I think I did that afterwards. I would not want to do that live. That took a while. But yeah, this is this is what's gonna happen. This is what's at stake. Absolutely bonkers to me that it is already week 8. Makes zero sense at all. Which I guess part of the reason is just because this season is shorter than last season, just by design. But even then, feels like it is absolutely flown by. Well, actually, it's not shorter in terms of weeks; it's just shorter in terms of amount of games played. But
There's our predicted spellcasters.
What'd you say?
I said there's our predicted spellcaster standings. It's pretty. Spellcasters is easy.
Yeah. Only so much can really.
Austin, I have a question for you.
What's that?
How are you gonna feel if Triple Shy Guy wins the championship?
I don't think it will, so I don't really have to think about that too hard.
All right. I'll keep that noted for when it happens.
You know, God damn it, Danny! Why didn't you make it like a single change? That's that's the way that it can happen. But we'll see. You have not been undefeatable. I mean, you've lost against teams in your conference. Freddie's storming up the table, and he's only 1 game back. 15 goal difference, but 1 game back. But on that note, vote in the All-Star poll. I don't think we've shouted it out yet in the Discord.
I haven't, no.
Yeah, we should. But vote in the All-Star poll.
When does it close?
What'd you say?
When does it close? Friday or Wednesday?
It will close. Let's say midweek next week.
Okay.
So we're
next Wednesday.
That's fair, but also try and vote before week 8.
Yeah,
because the stats will be different.
They will, but they won't change that much, you know.
Okay. But
with all the blowouts that are coming in MFMK,
yeah, it's gonna be a crazy week. But thanks, y'all. Peace.